This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Tap it. That's what it's all about. Tapping that app. Yes, sir. And remember, download it, iOS or Android. How you feeling? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Big O. You jet lagged or you're back on track?
Oh, I'm good after a whole day and crazy. I slept 3 hours on the flight. And so I hadn't done that in a long time, slept that much. And I was able to, I got in some kind of a comfort zone and maybe also, 10 days of waking up early, it just builds up to, because over there you wake up 3 hours earlier than normal. So I was just talking about that, how waking up at 5 a.m. just effed me up every day over there. I don't want that job ever again, bro. Not doing that.
It's not made for everyone. I'm still struggling. I couldn't go to sleep like 3 a.m. the last 2 nights. I'm still like on West Coast time. It usually takes me about a few days to adjust.
Yeah, no, I feel good. I had a really good day yesterday, so it's I feel good and good rest and recharge and everything. So,
good.
All right, so let's get into it because let me tell you, dude, I was negative. I was, depressed because I was thinking, they got no shot at this, and I know the Nets are saying now, well, we're not satisfied with any of the offers, and that's fine, whatever. That's all. That's kind of part of this game, and I'm fine with that. But the Ayton thing all of a sudden now gave me some hope now for the Heat because the Suns have lost a lot of firepower with that move in signing with Indiana. Now they had to match it. And so now they are tied and they're a cap. Now they're paying tax and all that. So explain to us and to Heat fans out there how Miami has now maybe a better chance at getting Durant because the Suns have put themselves at a bit more of a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, Kevin Durant reportedly wants to go to the Suns or the Heat, right? Those are the two teams we know of that he would like to go. He's interested in joining. Deandre Ayton was seen to be Phoenix's top trade chip. He's a young center, rising star. Say what you think we want about him, but he's a good player, really good player.
Yeah, he's a damn good player. Yeah.
Now after signing into that, matching that offer sheet, they can't trade him until January 15th. And even after that, he has veto power. So he has to approve any trade. So if Kevin Durant's getting traded this offseason, DeAndre Ayton can't be part of the deal. He's not eligible to be traded. So now, and they're not trading Booker or Chris Paul. So now who's their best trade chip? Is it Mikal Bridges? Now all of a sudden, I think the Heat might have a better package, or at least compare, at the very least, even. So
and if they're able to move Simmons, even better, because then they can move Bam.
Sure. Although I get the sense that the Heat are trying to do this. I know it seems unrealistic, but I get the sense that they're trying to do this without including Bam or Jimmy in the deal, which, I think that's part of the game right now. The Heat are willing to go so far, and
that's their big three, right?
Yeah, the Heat are willing to go so far, and the Nets obviously want it all for Kevin Durant. So we'll see who blinks first.
So we haven't heard. See, here's the catch-22 because Sean Marks obviously caught everywhere in Vegas with every different GM out there.
I saw him with you, Big O. He was talking.
Yeah, even with everybody. Me, he was talking a little bit there, and so but we were talking more about Australian life and things like that. Actually, is really what we were talking about, mate. So it's just one of those things. So anyway, you look at everybody wants to make this move, and for Miami, the question is, if Durant has any kind of control here, which he does have some control because he
definitely does.
Yeah, because listen, Kevin, Detroit's offered us a package. Well, he could call Detroit and, hey, my agent will tell Detroit, go F yourselves. I'm never playing for you guys ever, so don't bother trading for me. So he basically can kill any trade off because he can tell a franchise, I don't want to be with you guys. So that really limits what the Nets want to do. And if they want to force the whole issue of keeping him there, that's all. This is a guy that he's kind of like a petulant child. You know what I mean? So that's not going to be a happy situation for him either if you keep him. So how long does this drag out? Because I know for the Heat, they're going to be holding this steady pattern, but Does this hurt them preparing for the season if they keep waiting? Remember what happened with LeBron? That he waited till after the moratorium to tell Riley, and then Riley lost out on a shitload of options to improve the team. He could have gone in a completely different direction, and he couldn't at that point. He was locked. So I'm wondering, how are you trying to improve for next year if you keep waiting for Durant and options dry out? So how long does this thing last?
I know. I don't think. I know the talk is the Heat are waiting and they're going to lose out and the team's going to be worse next year. I mean, what else could they have done? I guess the other possibility is if they weren't going to get Kevin Durant or even try for Kevin Durant or Donovan Mitchell, they could have just re-signed PJ. But other than that, they had no cap space. I mean, maybe they could have offered TJ Warren, but I mean, that's a lot. That's a okay. It's a marginal. That's a marginal move. The free agent class this year was not good. There wasn't any top free agents he were going to get. They didn't have.
And John Collins and Miles Turner are still there.
They're still there, but
I really want to. And Jay Crowder is still there. Robert Sarver is not a cheap owner. Let me just say it. Let me just say what it is. He's already a tax team. That's another thing that people, that's the other caveat to this whole discussion. Not only did the Suns lose leverage now in this trade for Durant, they also became a cap team. Robert Sarver isn't known as a guy that really likes to spend a ton, so you're already taxed. How much higher does he want to get into the tax? Maybe he wants to lower that. Maybe by getting rid of Jay Crowder, that will save him some money on the tax. So I could see them still moving Jay Crowder. So those are three options that are still left for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, so I don't think the Heat are losing out by much by waiting. I mean, this is Kevin Durant. Like, you go all in for Kevin Durant. It's not like they missed out on, Bradley Beal was available and he was going to come to the Heat, but you miss out on him. There was none of that. They didn't have cap space. It's not like their cap space now is not going to be used for anybody because they let it, they're waiting on Kevin Durant. I think they're making the right move. Are they better than they were last year right now? No. But you take that chance. Are they much worse? No.
They weren't a championship team either way, but the Durant move can make you.
Yeah, it takes them over the top. Right. And I'll say this, even if they don't get Kevin Durant, even if they don't get Donovan Mitchell, I still don't think they trade for Jay Crowder or John Collins because they're not going to waste a trade asset like a first-round pick. You see how many first-round picks you need to trade for a star these days.
Yes.
So you're going to let go of one of those picks for Jay Crowder? Probably not. You're probably holding it for the next star becomes available because there's always a next star becomes available.
Right.
We see it every year. So I would imagine if the Heat don't get one of these stars now, they'll probably sign Udonis as the 14th guy, and they'll move forward and hope that by February, by the trade deadline, somebody else becomes available because that's what it's about. You have to trade. You have to save your chips for the right move.
Cap for Life on the text line says, I'm starting to think that maybe Spo really can't identify with the center spot, being that he always struggles to have good depth in that position. We can run and gun, but we just can't dominate the paint. Cap for Life, how many guys dominate in the paint? He makes it sound like this is the 90s and the 80s or some shit like that. What is it? Embiid, Jokic?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
No, we're missing one more. There's at least one more guy, big guy that can dominate in the paint that I'm missing. I know
Karl Anthony Towns is not a guy who dominates in the paint.
No, he's actually developed a
Rudy Gobert, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm talking about skilled.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about big Galoot that he's so damn big that he's just dumping it over people. I know we're missing one more guy that's pretty active in the middle that can. Ayton. Shit, man.
There you go. We were just talking about.
Yeah, man. I just like, holy crap! Like, what are you doing? Oh, let's go. So this is in the 80s and the 90s. Cap for Life. They don't grow on trees anymore, bro. This isn't Robinson and Olajuwon and Ewing and Alonzo Mourning and Shaquille O'Neal. That's not this league anymore. You make it sound like centers grow. Either you get a Bam that's kind of a defensive guy that can help you facilitate, or you get that 3-point softy that's more on the outside, like a Miles Turner that we talked about, that he's really not going to help you in the middle, be a force, but he'll stretch it for you. He'll get you a couple of rebounds here or there, but he's not really a force in the middle. That's kind of what this league is, right? I mean, would you disagree with that, Anthony? It's
No,
rare
I
to
agree.
find that complete guy in the middle.
Even Embiid and Jokic. I mean, I'm calling now. I think Jokic is Jovic. I'm like all messed up, by the way. Embiid and Jokic, they shoot threes, right? I mean, shooting is a big part of their game as well. So yeah, it's a different game. It's a totally different game than used to. And even Bam, I would say Bam is still a top 5 center in the NBA probably when you consider defense. There's a reason why he's third or fourth in defensive player of the year voting, all defense, and always getting votes for all NBA. He's one of the top 5 centers in the NBA.
His struggle is actually post center.
Sure,
with those, like, he can't cover Embiid and Jokic in the post. That's the only place where he's really not. He's actually below average in that area. He's not even average.
He struggled with Jokic this year defensively, but against Embiid in the playoffs, he did pretty well. But also
not in the post. Not in the post. He gets put. Well, listen. He had a hand injury and a face injury.
Yeah, that's why. So that's the caveat. Embiid was about 50% of himself.
Yeah, and he still dominated. So that's the only area that I would say he's not even close to being elite. Everywhere else he's elite, but not. But again, there's only 2 or 3 of those guys in the league that you have to put up with because they just don't exist anymore. Sure. We don't produce it anymore as a society because the game completely changed already at this point. And big guys themselves, they want to dribble, they want to shoot, they want to handle more. It's just one of those things. It used to be a novelty. Oh my God, did you see Shaquille O'Neal take the ball all the way across the court? Oh my God, Alonzo Mourning dribbled 3/4 of the way and passed the ball. Whoa. These are things that were like freakish. Now it's just normal to see a big guy that can dribble and he's 6'10" and mobile and all that because the game has changed. It just has a different demand to it. And those kind of guys are freaks.
Yeah, and defensively, you kind of need a guy like Bam to survive. Look at Rudy Gobert. Right. Yeah, he's a great rim protector, traditional big man, but in the playoffs, he gets run off the court because guys just isolate him and he can't guard in space.
Right, so and then they bring him out, and
it's over.
And guess what? He's too late to bring him out with the barrels in his mouth. So so you can't, man. So that's the problem. All right. So what's next? What are we waiting for here? Kind of because Sean Marks came out, the report come out that he's not impressed with anything, that he'd rather keep him. We know that that's a bunch of crap. Eventually, he's got to move him at one point or another. What's next?
I'm sure they would love to keep him if they could, but I just don't see that happening, right? If Brooklyn brings back Kyrie and KD, they're probably still one of the best teams in the East if both those guys are available and playing. But yeah, I would imagine that I just can't see Kevin Durant opening the season with Brooklyn next year. But I do think this is going to drag out. I mean, Brooklyn has time. They have 2.5 months before camp starts.
Mm-hmm.
It is not going to happen today. Probably it's not going to happen tomorrow. This isn't going to drag on weeks. Like Brian Windhorst said on ESPN yesterday, after Summer League, when Summer League ends this weekend, this is the time executives go on vacation. Like this is their time off. So I would not be shocked if it gets quiet for a few weeks, guys are taking their time off, and then maybe in August, September, it starts picking up again. I really think this will be something that drags because it is not an easy thing to resolve. Brooklyn wants, like we've talked about, Brooklyn wants the house. KD wants to play in a championship contender. There aren't many teams that could trade the house and still remain a championship contender for KD. So it's like finding that happy balance of you're giving up a lot, but you're still like the Heat. If they give up, Tyler Hero and all these other pieces, but they keep Bam and Jimmy, they're still a title contender. Yeah. If they give up Bam and Tyler and just bring KD, they're a good team, but I'm not gonna, they're probably not the favorite for a championship just with Jimmy and KD.
By the way, somebody's asking, John Collins is only 24. He's already a young star. Pull the trigger. One more time. The John Collins moves or the Jay Crowder or the Miles Turner or any of those moves will not be made until the Durant move is decided. They are going to make the move that makes them a championship caliber team. When that move to make yourself a championship caliber team cannot be made, then the Heat will follow to plan B. But plan A, they're still on plan A, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with the plan. Stay with your wingman, okay?
Don't go off the rope.
Do not leave your wingman. Stay.
Don't let go of the rope, I suppose.
I'll
say
let
this.
go of the rope. Every cliche we can come up with, you have to stay on the Durant move because that's the championship move. John Collins does not make you a championship team. It makes you really good. Maybe you could get to the finals, but it's not for sure. With Durant, you're in the finals and you got a shot at the title. So first Durant, then we get to Miles Turner and John Collins and Jay Crowder and all those other options out there. Okay, so now let me ask you this, because that's the other thing that I'm sure is going to come up on the chat board. So while you're making the Durant move, Durant is actually superseding the Donovan Mitchell move, correct? Because that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Donovan Mitchell is headed to New York, plus they're going to give up 5 or 6 first-round picks. 4 of them are unprotected. You know, they're going to give up a couple of the young guys. They're not going to give up the guys like Barrett that they have to give money to in a year from now. So Utah doesn't want to take in money, actually, in all of this. They not only want to trade Donovan, they want picks and super young players. They want nothing to do with giving away any money right now. So they're in a total rebuild. So explain to people out there that it kind of seems like, again, it's Durant, and Mitchell is not the piece because why? You have to give up way too much and it's not worth it, correct?
Yeah, we know what Danny Ainge likes, right, in his trades. He only makes a trade when he feels like he has a huge advantage. We've seen it with Boston, where they got all those picks, and he loves picks. The Heat have 2 right now to give up. They can open up a third, like we've talked about, by changing the protections on the pick at OKC. That's 3 first-round picks. I mean, New York has a ton. They got for 4, 5, 6 first-round picks.
They have 7.
Yeah.
They have 7. And they're going to trade apparently 6 or 7 of them. I mean, 5 or 6.
If the Knicks want to do that, you let them do that. That's a lot. That's a lot to give up.
They're
Donovan
desperate,
is a very
bro.
good player. Donovan Mitchell's a very good player, and I get what they're doing, but I mean, what are the Knicks with Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson? I mean, they're maybe a playoff team, right? A play-in team, maybe a 6th seed.
Definitely.
But they're not a championship contender. It's like you said, you make the move that makes you a championship contender.
Although I saw New York writers say that they make that move, they're a top 3 or 4 in the conference. I was laughing. I was like, dude, don't be a homer. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they're better. They're obviously better than they are right now, but I don't think they're not on the level of Boston, Milwaukee, or even
By the
Miami.
way, so Tibbs is so good as a defensive coach, he's going to make 2 undersized guards.
Yeah,
all of a sudden become great defenders. Get the hell out of here, bro.
It's going to be tough. I mean, look, the Donovan Mitchell move would make the Heat a very good team, probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in the East, I would say, if you're not giving a Bam or Jimmy. But the KD move makes you probably the favorite for the championship. So that's the difference right there. And
at least you can challenge Golden State for it. That's the way you got to look at it. I don't know if I would say they're the favorites, but at least they're favored to get there. I don't know about winning it all because I got to give I'm afraid that the Warriors are going to get better next year because Kuminga looks good, Wiseman's back, and Klay Thompson.
Clay's going to be better.
He only played half a season, man. We're going to see the real Klay now this year, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And another point is when KD says you're one of the teams he wants to go to, you have to see that through, especially when Phoenix now is not in great shape to make that deal.
Yeah.
So I totally think the Heat are making the right call here. I think it's too big of these guys don't come available very often. They're in the game. He has interest in coming here. You got to see it through and see what happens.
All right. One more thing before I let you go. I was impressed with this kid on Wednesday. I didn't get to watch him on Friday, on live, but I saw it on video. But Jamal Kane, he came in on Wednesday right away, and he had that drive to the right side of the basket where he had contact and made the shot and made a couple of other plays and kind of opened my eyes a little bit, because he's a long, lanky kid, right? Because body-wise, he doesn't necessarily impress you. Right. But then you watch him and the effort that he was giving, and that's the part that kind of impresses you, that the kid kind of plays fearless a little bit. And so some of the news that came out of it yesterday, he got an Exhibit 10 contract, which now he gets a camp invite. Tell us a little bit about the youngin.
Yeah, it's interesting because he was really good in that first game in San Francisco, and then he got COVID and was stuck in San Francisco for a week and has played, I think, in the last 3 games now in Vegas. Just a really athletic kid, has bounce, as Malik said. defensive versatility. If you watch Friday night's game against Toronto and Vegas, he switched on to almost everybody on the court, was able to stay in front of him. So just that kind of mold of a player that the Heat like. Versatile, has athleticism, and now it's just about like kind of defining developing other parts of his game. So it makes sense, I think, what the Heat did. He's gonna compete for one of the two-way contracts, just like Orlando Robinson.
You wrote he's from Kendrick Nunn's school too, right?
Yeah.
Oakland.
He went to Marquette for 4 years, and then he spent his final season at Oakland. Yeah, Kendrick Nunn school.
Yeah.
So maybe the Heat will have more success at Oakland University. I'm not sure. We'll see.
And he's tall too, right? He's like
6'7". 6'7". Yeah, he's a forward. He's pretty much a power forward in today's NBA. He's just versatile, plays bigger than he is because of his athleticism. Needs to put on some weight, obviously. 50
pounds of muscles on the
needs to put on some weight. Well, that will be a big part of his development for sure. But he definitely has flashed. In the few games he's played in summer league, he's already flashed.
Yeah. I saw that, and that caught my eye because he caught my eye on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
When he came in for a few moments, I was like, "Oh, all right, nice to see it." And the bench kind of went crazy too. I got to sit right behind the bench for the game, so kind of see how everybody's going through the dealing with everything. By the way, I asked the Heat. They couldn't give me the number at the moment. What do they have, bro? Like 50 people travel with the team? Like it's a lot of people, bro. Like
also,
Holy
also
crap.
Vegas, as you know, like there's a lot of meetings that week. Trainer meetings, there's GM meetings, there's coaches meetings. So a lot of people have to be there in Vegas just for that stuff.
It's like the Senior Bowl in the NFL was what it is, that everyone is there from from the entire organizations. They're all there, and then there's all kinds of different kinds of meetings and things like that. Yeah, you're right. Happens a lot also in Senior Bowl where you get that, and the Combine a little bit too. Also, you get that. So yeah, that's where I was impressed with Vegas. That man, each team brings, and the amount of people that are there. It's impressive. The only thing we got to add is air conditioning on the outside of the city. Like all over the place. That's the only thing we need to add. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in for that for sure. I think that'd make it a lot better.
Were you there Thursday that it rained?
No, I wasn't there Thursday.
Dude, it rained all day Thursday, and I swear to you, it felt like it was a cool summer breeze at 92 degrees walking around. God. Yeah, it was like we were walking around going, wow, this feels great. All right. And we look, it's 92 degrees, but since you're at 107 and 110 and 113, 92 is like, wow, this is good, because there's no humidity there. So it's not so bad,
Yeah.
So it cooled down the whole damn place. For
everything is relative, and that explains. I was looking at when I was taking off, as I left Thursday morning, I looked at the Vegas airport for some reason. It said there were hour and a half delays that day. So I'm guessing maybe it was because of the rain. They're not. They're so not used to rain that delayed a bunch of flights.
Yeah, luckily we were leaving at 1 a.m, so our plane. No, but now I have learned this now. Okay, have you been delayed on your flights lately?
Thankfully, no, not lately.
Oh wow! So you're like Sean.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
I now have learned that Sean is the travel charm because he doesn't get delayed. I got delayed, but he has not gotten delayed. So I had the same flight on the way back with Sean, not that way. So now I know that I have to have Sean on all the same flights with me because he is the travel charm. Because he just doesn't get delayed, bro. It's awesome.
Him or me? I mean,
now we know Anthony Chiang and Sean Stanley are the travel charms. It's amazing. It's amazing. You are awesome. All right, my brother. Appreciate you as always. We will catch up next week, my friend, and we'll continue talking a little Heat.
Thanks, Big O. Have a good weekend.
You got it. There you go. Anthony Chiang and our liquor split, Miami Heat and NBA report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.